Taurus babies, what's happening? This is EJ from Taurota Tarot, getting ready to do Taurus and Sagittarius, sitting in a tree, K-I-S-S-I-N-G, for the month of February 2021. Tomorrow's the 25th, so that means we ain't got nothing but 6 days left. That's it, that's all. Taurus and Sagittarius, y'all have been doing some kind of dance around each other. I ain't figured it out yet. But, yeah, fuck. There's the emotional loss. What the hell? Maybe some physical distance between the two of you. And it feels like that's by choice. Probably more on Taurus's part at this point than Sagittarius. Oh, you got patience up here twice. Oh, boy. Yes, sir. Wow. Well, we end up on the Happy Family card. Well, no, part of the Happy Family card, Foundation and Achievements. That's the 4. And not the 10 of Cups, which is complete happy family. But that's not what we're feeling here right in this moment. So yeah, y'all are going down memory lane on some shit. Wow. Temperance on the board. You may as well just call that the 3rd patience card. What the hell? So there's something here between the two of you that's going to require patience on both your parts. Meh. If that accounts for what I'm feeling right now. So in your overall energy, the top end with the 9 of Cups on top of the awareness, the back end with the Knight of Swords on top of the partnership and alliances. This is definitely feeling like Taurus, solely from Taurus's perspective. However, just be mindful. It could be Sagittarius that I'm talking about and not necessarily Taurus. Gender is irrelevant. And as I say, universe don't give a damn about no clock and no Rolex. So, Taurus, you need to be patient. That it's popped up in 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 10 different places. One thing for sure, you need to be patient. The top end of your overall energy, that happiness, that ideal happiness that you're looking for, that 9 of Cups, on top of the awareness, you're aware that you ain't it. This is not no. No and no. And if I could have said it again, no. If I read them in the reverse, that 9 of Cups would be straight ass upside down. Because you becoming aware this is not your ideal happiness. Whatever's going on, there feels like a lot of secrecy. There feels like a lot of doors slamming. I hear mumbles. I don't hear outright yelling and screaming. This is all shit under the table, if you will. On the back end of your overall energy, the bottom end, partnerships and alliances, with that Knight of Wands up there, Taurus, you thinking about getting the fuck out of Dodge. What the hell? You seriously looking at the who ride sideways like, can I get all that in that car? That's crazy. I get it. That 5, that there's a lot of emotional changes going on between the two of you, that emotional loss, which is blocking you from having any kind of anything at this point. That it's in the challenge spot is pretty much telling you to just deal with it. I know that sounds fucked up, hard, cold, crass, and some other shit, but that's really the energy. It's like, you're here, you're gonna have to deal with it. And so, if I were to go back to the beginning, and this is for, let me get to the meat and potatoes of who it's for. This is for Taurus and Sagittarius couples that have been together less than 5 years. So this is not you 20, 30, 40 year long, 15 year long relationships. This is not y'all. There may be some gems here for you if you are in a similar situation, but for the most part, this is for relationships that have been started since, I say, maybe 15, 16, somewhere in there. And they came to, the relationship came together, but then it was just like day by day, there's something that just whittled it the fuck apart. Because this is not, just looking at the major energy on the board, this is not some just hiccup shit that y'all are going through. This is, put it right there then. Okay. This is major, big time, don't even bother crossing your fingers type energy. So looking at this first week, and so we're going to go from tomorrow, the 25th, we're just going to go about a month to the 25th of February, the end of February, you may as well say. Yeah, there's physical distance between the two of you. So you may be sleeping in separate bedrooms if you live together. If you don't live in the same house, and this has been a dating type situation for a minute, whatever the routine was before last month, so always doing date night on Thursday or Friday, or getting together to go to church or Zoom church on Sunday, whatever the routine was, it ain't no more. Some physical distance, and that's the physical activity. Y'all ain't doing it. And so in this time that you guys have spent apart, I think towards you realize that there's a need that there's spots you just need to heal, not necessarily from this relationship, but most probably from past relationships. Because whatever went on triggered you into alert mode, high alert mode. And so you did the next best thing, I guess, and just put some distance between you and Sag, and just didn't break it up, didn't cut it off completely, but you backed it up. We'll say that. It's at an end. I can't say that no longer, no louder, or no stronger. It's at an end. For a very small cross section of y'all, you might be able to rekindle some part of this, but looking at that Wheel of Fortune on top of the completion card is just a done deal. And that's major energy next to major energy. So Temperance and the Wheel of Fortune. This is the universe kind of just kickstarting whatever needs to be kickstarted so that you can get on to the next phase, chapter, level, however you want to put it. At the end of this first week with the Knight of Cups on top of the Perseverance, yeah, y'all are falling out of love. Y'all are just not, you're not in it, you're not feeling it anymore, which then we loop right back to the beginning of the week with the need to heal with that Temperance. There may be some conversations that go on this week, however abbreviated, comma, about this is over, no sense of hanging on to this bullshit, you're not in love with me, I'm not in love with you, let's keep it pushing. Again, looping you right back to that Temperance card, and recognizing the need to heal. Both of you recognizing the need to heal. There's a third party situation going on, and it could be on one or both sides. Now, I'm reading from Taurus's perspective, so I'm going to just kind of jump out here and say it might be Sagittarius is having a little extra hoo-ha on the hoo-ha. But it could be Taurus. And again, it could be both of you. And it feels like that the last person to get into a third party did it primarily because the other person did it, basically. Well, fuck it. You cheating, I'm going to cheat too. How about that? And it feels like the outside activity that's going on, these are people that y'all know. So, you know, this ain't some booty call hookup on sluts.com, some shit. This is stuff y'all, these are people you know. So they're on either side, if they're both of you are cheating, that third party on either side is fully aware of what's going on within this relationship. I don't feel like either one of them, if it's on both sides, or if that third party, if it's just one side, has any kind of malicious intent about trying to fuck y'all up. And I think in some instances, that third party is probably more satisfied that you're together than they will be when you're apart. Something about the appeal and some other shit. I don't know. But don't think, because there's sometimes a tendency when you're breaking up or you're trying to split things 50-50 fuck ever, third party out there is, you know, got their little rooting section. I don't feel any of that. I really don't. Conversely, I don't feel like those third parties are going to be a whole lot of support to either one of you either as you go through this separation process. Getting to the second week with the Seven of Wands on top of the timeout. Yeah, you got to come out of that timeout. The time you get to the second week and start making some bold moves. The Seven of Wands talks about audacity and being bold. And so it feels like you get into the second week, whatever's going on this week, it'll be the third week, fourth week, but whatever's going on up here and whatever conversations, however abbreviated they are, they go on, is going to lead you here. Like, okay, you know what? Time out. Let me figure this shit out. Let me make some moves. Whoa. The making moves card. There you go on the back end of your overall energy. So by the time you get into the first part of February, it feels like you were going to be dealing with whatever the breakup part is. If you're not living together, this is not going to be a big deal. Other than the fact you may start cutting pictures up and going on Facebook and changing your status from in a relationship to single, that kind of shit. There can be some backlash if you're doing it public like that. You may have some nosy idlers trying to figure out what you're doing and may ask questions. That's going to be up to you how much talking you do, but I got a feeling the less said at this point, the better. With the Five of Swords on top of the Patience card, you're going to have to, this is fear and crisis. This is exactly what this is. When I did Taurus this morning, this popped up, but it was looking at the details, I think, of money or details of financial assets, that type shit. This is just what the fuck it says, fear and crisis, and looking at, where your fears are. If you've been dating this person for 3 years and now you're getting ready to break up, and when you started dating, you were 47, and now you're breaking up and you're 50, that might cause an issue for you. That might kick you in crisis mode if that's where you are, because some of you were thinking you never thought you'd get to that point and have to be looking for a date. I'm just saying. As it relates to Sagittarius, this is pinpointing more of a crisis moment for them. Less of the fear, more of the crisis. Like, oh, what the fuck am I going to do type shit. And immediately with the energy coming blowing right back in my face is Taurus saying, you should have thought about that, but you fucked up. It is what it is, people. It is what it is. The universe is suggesting that both of you sit down and shut the fuck up and get a little patient. There may be those of you that are living together now, that's what I'm talking to. There may be some things you need to get some scissors and cut so you can start separating utensils and clothes and shit, however that's resonating. But that's that energy, and this is going to put feels like Sagittarius in crisis mode, because this is going to throw them completely off their game. And it's going to be, for both of you, the fear and the crisis, a mental thing. So it's going to be all about how you're processing the situation, how you're looking at each other, what your perceptions are, what your preconceived notions are even. That will determine how much of the fear and loathing you're going to have going on. Here, again, universe is just saying, you know what, just calm down. There may be some patience. And if it's not for each other, then have some patience with yourself. Because this is about the time you start beating up on yourself. I knew I should have gone with my old boyfriend from high school. He's a better person than you. That kind of shit. This is the time that you start all that shit. Be patient with yourself. Be patient. It's not the end of the damn world, even though it may feel that way right in the moment, but it's not. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with each other. The things you're going to have to work through. If you've been together any amount of time, a year, 5 years, 10 years, you got to have patience. You can't just pick up, especially if you have joint banking accounts, and joint house, mortgage, if you're married, that kind of shit. Be patient. At the end of that second week, again, sitting on top of more patience. Who the hell? Right next to each other. So both of y'all, Sagittarius and Taurus both, you need to have some patience. Trying to rebuild. That 2 is a part of the 4. 4 is a foundational number. That's stability. Trying to rebuild whatever it is, you're going to have to jump in the fray of things and start rebuilding your life, your finances, however that's resonating. Be patient with yourself. The Devil card, what the hell? What the hell? This may well have been a situation, a breakup, because one of the other of you, and I'm gonna say it's probably Sagittarius, was just like, this is fucked up. This is boring. Taurus, you're boring. Now, Taurus, before you start swiping left or swiping right, hear me out. Not anything that you did, not a damn thing. But let's look at the elements for what they are. Taurus, you're earth. That hard shit you stand on when you're outside. Sagittarius, you're fire. What the hell else? And so fire is exciting. Even just the candles over here. That's some excitement. But I promise you, looking at this wood table, I'm not impressed. I am not moved one iota. But the table that I'm leaning on currently has a very solid purpose. It is to hold up all this tarot stuff, and me for that matter, and it does its job nicely. However, the fire's like, let me get to that wood so I can burn it up. And so it's just a difference of how you're approaching relationships. And so let me say this to you, to those of you that might be thinking about hanging around, reconciling, doing whatever at some later date. Understand that you approach life differently. Maybe that's something you didn't go into the relationship understanding. But understand that you approach life differently, and then look at how you can pull those two perspectives together and work as a team. I'm going to just throw that up against the wall. You ain't got to do it. If you're ready to run out the house now, go ahead. It's all right. But that's something to think about. Looking at the third week with the Knight of Swords on top of the accelerated motion, this is where you Taurus, I know this is you all, that get determined. The hell with all this bullshit. I'm not arguing no more. I'm not doing nothing. I'm getting on my hoorah and I'm out. I won't hear nothing else. And that action in and of itself, when you get to that moment where you like, fuck it, I'm tired, I don't want to hear shit else, we splitting up, I'm out. This is all the thinking. This is a culmination of all that thinking that goes into that 2-second comment about fuck it, I'm out. There's a lot of thought that goes into those words before they come out, whether you know it or not. You're already struggling. Should I stay or should I go? But when you get to the fuck it, I'm out, that determination, there's a lot of thought behind that. And so then, quite naturally, that accelerates the motion. So now shit's gonna kick in. I'm getting a lawyer if you're married. We're getting divorced. And so then it's more of the same, but at different levels. The Four of Cups on top of the Trapped in Fear. Now here's where you start getting a little thoughtless, maybe. Should I do I can't say thoughtless, thoughtful. Thoughtless is not the right word. You just start thinking about the decision that's being made. Because actually it's being made now. As I'm speaking, it's being made. So this is where you go, should I stay in this relationship? Or should I just cut my losses? It's going to really depend on where you are in life outside of this relationship. How much of your well-being you put into it, that it's on top of an 8. There's some 2 4s. You see, we dealing with the structure. You may feel trapped. You know, like you can't go back into the relationship, or you can't stay in the relationship. You may just be feeling trapped. And at that point, the Four of Cups, you may just be feeling fatigued and tired. Like, you know what, I'm done, tired. Again, back to that determination. I'm done. Get the fuck out. So the determination can go one or two ways. You either stand or you're going. And you dig in your hooves towards and like, fuck it, I'm not going nowhere. Worked hard for this relationship. We're not going to let some little young Philly take my man. Y'all hear me. Y'all hear me. But in that, you got just the regret. You know, choices made, choices not made, conversations had, conversations not had, things done, cheating, infidelity, all of that. But ultimately, it's going to drive the decision that you make. The Queen of Cups, so that's the ass end of the sisters. On top of the manifestation, here's where you start trying to manifest another part of your life and what that's going to look like. And a lot of times when we're breaking up, we don't take the time to sit down and try and see what the next step is, or what are you trying to manifest. And that's why we end up in places and wonder why our lives are not moving forward, because we forget steps. And quite naturally, I've done this before. I had to break up with somebody that I was living with. And that's that determination right there, that energy. Once you say it out loud, I'm done, fuck this, I'm out. Game on. Game on. Where am I going to stay? Who am I going to get to watch the kids? What I'm going to do with the TV and the couch? All that shit runs like in order. What needs to happen right now? And you forget you need to sit down and take a moment and get quiet and shut all that bullshit out for a minute and think about, what's my next best step? Not doing it, get you over here with old girl, Queen of Cups. And see, now you done turned your back on what you should be doing, and so then this is blocked. You're not able to manifest anything. So before you start grabbing coats and car keys and shit, take a minute. Take a minute and think about what you want to manifest. The next thing, what does that look like? So that you're giving the universe a heads up that you are trying to manifest something beyond what you're coming out of. Because the universe will just send you more of the same. Until either A, you learn the lesson, or 2, you start trying to manifest something different. It's just like that. It's just like that. At the last week, the moon, power, and again, notice Tommy Tortoise back there with his slow ass trying to creep through the water. You will, as you begin, might as well pick up all this shit. As you begin to start trying to manifest your future, you also need to look at what needs healing. We're coming back to that. As you do that, you begin to come into your own power again. Okay. I'm just saying. But something here about manifesting needs to happen. I'll just throw that out there. That the manifest card and the power card are back to back, and both of them are 8s. Start looking at the karmic ties you have in your life, because there may be other people that you could probably have a relationship with, and I think the universe is trying to turn your head in that direction if that's the case for you. Others of you, it's just about dealing with your intuition and moving into your power, and recognizing that, all the emotional shit, you need to unblock it so you can start manifesting that future, which then brings us to the Ace of Wands on top of the compassion. As you start going through this shit, it's no need to be an asshole. It just is no need to be an asshole. There's no need to create additional karma. Let me put it to you like that. Because when you start acting mean and yelling and shouting and shit, that's creating just dead energy and bad karma. Just saying. So you need to move through this with some compassion. If there are children involved, marriage, and we're talking about uncoupling and separating kids and visitation, do not do shit out of spite. That's the best way I can put that to you. Do not do shit out of spite. As you get to the end of this is where the foundation basically gets chopped up. If I were looking at the card like that, yeah, rainbow on his head. Which one to tell you? It's where you start breaking up the foundation of the current relationship, and you begin to see things in the light of day. So third parties could be showing up. Now it's confirmed, y'all are done, and you see your soon-to-be ex with their third party. Again, I'm gonna come back to that 99 compassion. Don't get messy, people. Don't get messy. Just don't do it. Everybody has a part to play in relationships. Nobody is carrying a relationship on their ass by themselves. It's not happening. Even if the other person is not responding, that in and of itself is a response. So you're participating in the relationship. Everybody needs to get their own basket, put their own shit in it, and deal with it accordingly. I know that sounds hard and fast, but that's the truth. There are things in the works for both of you, Taurus and Sagittarius, that are going to put you further along on your path. This, from an energetic and a divine standpoint, looks like it was not meant to go any further than where it is right now. So just know that part. That energy is very clear to me. In the same way that looking at this little activity here is blocked. You can't get where you're trying to go. That part, yeah, done. And it's gonna hurt. Let's just put that out there. You can put all your hoo-has in the hoo-ha, and now the hoo-ha ain't hoo-ha. Just saying. It's gonna hurt. Process that pain, because this feels like things are going to start picking up as you move forward. And I guarantee both of you will probably be dating before the end of the year. Whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know yet. But I would do as much processing. And if you've already been physically distant from each other, sleeping in separate bedrooms or whatever, it's not like this next step should be a shocker or a surprise. Now, I'm sure some of you will be. I never thought we were going to break up. Yeah, you sleeping in separate bedrooms, that's a good indication in this day and age that somebody's on their way out the door. So, first card that popped out, forgive. That ought to tell you something. I'm just saying. That's interesting. Forgive. Not for them. Do that shit for you. Forgive. Not for them. Do that shit for you. I'm telling you need to process. Time for analyzing a matter a little deeper. Time for analyzing a matter a little deeper. Some of you that may be on the fence about what to do. maybe you need to take a different look at it from a different angle, whatever's going on in your own personal situation, and see if there's something more there that you need to uncover or find out. This popped up. Spend some time with Bae. Make art, love, or music. I don't know who that's for. I'm going to guess that's that group trying to stay together. But like I said, for many of you, y'all are at the end. There's no tunnel to go through, none of that. This is just the cycle of completion. Spending time. Those of you, again, that are thinking about staying together, you know, maybe that is a part of the problem. You aren't spending enough time with each other. Every situation is going to be different because you're individuals, so that part, and then everybody has their own will. So I hope this is helpful to you, Taurus and Sagittarius. You know I love you. I hope you have a good end to the month of January and a beautiful February. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.